When Shacola and Tommy dated as teenagers, they thought they were in for a lifetime of love and happiness. But in year 11 of their now 14-year marriage, major problems arose, and they aren't sure they can ever recover from them.
In front of people, he can be the sweetest person. Everybody would think that I would have the best husband in the world. Oh, he's so good to you. But at home, he would call me fat. He would call me names, say alligator skin in front of my family. It's just anything he could say to hurt me.
I feel like she left me for another woman.
That's not true.
Which is her. A family member came to me saying that she got this other girl.
I had already left him at the time.
Me talking?
Are the problems in this marriage going to sink their ship, or can Shacola and Tommy correct their course and continue their voyage together? Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Shacola Pinson and Tommy Pinson. The two of you have been married for 14 years. You have been separated for 3. You now want to divorce one another. You have a couple of economic issues you would like me to resolve, but before we get to that, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Pinson. Why don't you tell me what brought us here today?
Well, Your Honor, I'm here today because I thought I met the woman of my dreams in high school, and I wanted a divorce because, unfortunately, she had other plans. And we was in church. We was going to church and everything. I was a deacon of the church. She was a deacon wife and everything. And we was in church for like 8, 9 years and stuff. And it got to the point where she didn't want to be at the church no more. She said she felt like she wasn't growing no more. She wasn't getting fed. She didn't want to just be at the church no more. And I was like, wow, I don't feel like that. So it started, we got a church. We started going to that church. She started going to a church down in Calhoun. And that's when things started falling out of hand. She started, we had our weekends where she'll hang out her weekend with her girls. I hang out with my guys the other weekend. And so it got to the point where she wanted to start doing it during the week. So it got so bad one night, I had to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. And she leave at 9 o'clock that night saying, don't worry about standing up waiting on me. And I'm like, really? What's going on? It blew me away. I didn't know what was going on. So I'm at home with the twin boys. They like 4 or 5 months. I called her. She ignored my calls. I text her. She didn't answer the text. And then finally I got a hold to her. She answered the phone. So we're on the phone talking and everything. She go off on me saying, I'm grown. I do what I want to do. I don't want to be with you no more. I'm a grown lady. It's done. It's over with. So okay, we got into a real bad argument and stuff. I was already mad. I had to get up. I was already late for work. But it was like it's done.
It was just a mess. Well,
yeah.
Why don't you tell me your version of what happened?
About 2007 is when I started feeling like, the marriage was over or getting there. But during that time, I tried my best. Anything you suggest, I tried it. I said, let's do counseling. Now,
before we get to counseling, I want to know what was wrong. What made you feel like the marriage was ending?
Well,
what was he doing? What were you doing?
He liked to play video games. Most of his time was spent on video games. Now, us leaving the church, I wouldn't have went nowhere if he would have spoke up and said.
It seems like where you go to church is something you could resolve. It wouldn't be something that would be marriage ending. You could compromise or what. I don't understand what was really happening.
Judge, we had our problems like every marriage. They have their problems. We had a lot of disagreement. Shacola, she was the type of woman, if she didn't get her way, it ain't no way.
That's him.
And that's what I try to do. I try to keep this lady happy.
Well, Ms. Benson, you say he belittled you and called you fat and names.
Right.
Why don't you explain that to me?
That's what I meant about in front of people, he can be the sweetest person. Everybody would think that I would have the best husband in the world. Oh, he's so good to you. Oh, he buys you this. But at home, he would call me fat. I have eczema. And he would call me names, say alligator skin in front of my family. It's just anything he could say to hurt me, and he knew that hurt me. So I told him a long time ago, I said, if I wasn't a strong woman, you would have broke me a long time ago out of some of the stuff that he would say to me. He would call me stupid, trick, dumb heifer, and stuff like that.
She called me names. She would call me slow.
If I called him
Talked about my hairline.
If I called him a name, it was only after he called me, when he would always initiate.
Stupid heifer. I mean, what brings that up?
Because it was times where it went both ways. It was like she didn't get her way, we'll get to a bad argument and everything. And she just put me down like, you sorry, you ain't no good man. I look at all these good men, how they treat their wife and everything. Why you can't be like that? I said, why you always trying to compare me with somebody else?
That's
I said,
not
I'm
true.
not them. I said, this our own marriage.
That's
Well,
not true.
I really don't understand what's going on. I'm going to ask Ms. Jones to come up.
Can I talk about the issue first?
What's the issue? Come on up while she's talking. What's the issue?
When I had open heart surgery in 2010, I had to have my mitral valve repaired. I was in CCU and recovering. I had visitation hours was 30 minutes. He would show up to visitation, and his family, they kept the boys, so he couldn't say, well, I had my boys to tend to. He had free time, and I was the type of a woman, I said, okay, you have to go to work, but after work, you know, you have time, come there then.
But he never visited you?
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't like, I feel like how a husband should have been.
I was there for her. That's why I don't understand about her. It's like she told me that. She said you wasn't there for me.
He would show
I said
up
I took
late.
off of work. I was a temp at my job. Just started this job. I did construction for 13 years. We went out of business. The money went away. I had to find another job. So I just started this job. I haven't even done this job for like 2-3 months yet. But they work with me because I'm a good worker and everything. So they gave me time off to go be with her. I could have lost my job. I made a sacrifice to be
Mrs.
with her.
Pinson, I think you're nitpicking this, brother. I'm not quite sure. Put your finger down. I just don't understand. You're nitpicking him. I don't see what the problem really is. So it seems like you just lost interest.
When divorce court continues, what's the real reason that Shacola and Tommy's marriage is on the rocks?
Now he's telling me he thinks you left him for her. Is that accurate? Your mother warned you not to marry your mate. If you're ready to admit that she was right and divorce is your best option, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce court is back with the case of Shacola Pinson, who says she wants to divorce her husband because he is verbally abusive. But is there another reason for the split?
I feel like she left me for another woman.
That's not true.
Which is her.
Mrs. Pinson, you're taking me all around the mulberry bush about how he wasn't a good husband. It's not his fault you had congestive heart failure. I don't see what he's done wrong.
I'm gonna get to the bottom. I'm gonna get to the bottom of everything. She left me for another woman.
Hang on.
He's a husband. He's supposed to.
No.
He should be seeing after me, make sure I can only be the
get
best
that.
mother I can be if I'm
Okay,
well.
Ms. Pinson, you're saying the same thing over and over again. You say he's not the best husband, but you're not telling me why. Mr. Pinson, why don't you tell me what you think is wrong?
I feel like she left me for another woman.
That's not true.
Which is her.
I knew he
Okay, look.
It's not
now,
true.
we don't been in situations. A family member came to me saying that, you know, my mama doing this, she doing that, you know, she got this other girl over there.
Ms. Pinson,
I had already left him at that time.
Do you hear me talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pinson, here's what I got. And here's what he seems to be confirming. You seem to be looking for reasons to say that he's not a good guy, to explain why you left. Now he's telling me he thinks you left him for her. Is that accurate?
No.
Are you with her?
I am.
So you two are in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
3 years.
For 3 years?
Almost 3 years.
Well, Ms. Jones, what would you like to say?
Grace, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay.
Well, I was all right.
I was.
Go ahead.
He's saying like she left him for me. No. What it is, he intimidated by me, you know? He called her names and bring up the kids' names.
He's intimidated by you?
Yes, very. Yes,
Why
he
would I
is.
be intimidated by you?
If
Okay,
you
I'm telling you
people
something.
do
Really?
not...
For real?
Hey. I'm going to put you all out in a minute.
Sorry.
I'm trying to understand something. Why would he be intimidated by you?
Cause first when she go pick her kids up, she'd be like 5 minutes, like 9:05, 9:10. He'd be like, "You late," and just start calling her names. You know, it's like every time you get into a little argument, I come up.
So, but the question is, you guys were already seeing each other. He had a concern that you two were romantically involved, which seems to be borne out.
I had already left him.
She had already left him.
I was in my own place.
Your
he
Honor.
was still driving by my house, seeing who was
He
over
did
there.
drive by.
No.
He
Your
did
Honor.
drive by.
Stop.
I'm playing football. Well, not football. I'm throwing
He's
the catch.
trying to see who
Can I
was over my house.
Stop.
I was playing catch. He gonna drive by like this, like trying to sue in front of her door.
He
Whoa,
says
that's a lie?
he says that he's
That's
over
a
me, but he's
lie.
still
Wow.
concerned about who I'm with.
Your Honor, I was
Still.
doing
Okay,
stuff for this
Mr.
lady. I was doing stuff for this lady probably she didn't even know about. I had the boys one night. I take them back home to her. She calling me 11 o'clock at night talking about they need juice and milk. I get up out my bed, go to Walmart, bring juice and milk. I go to find that she is over there. Now,
was not in your bed.
she is smoking a cigarette. She is smoking a cigarette outside on her porch, and the
Thank you.
twin boys are looking out the door. And I asked her, I said, can you put the cigarette out around my little boys? She started going off on me, telling me, you don't tell me what to do. And she is standing on the porch with her. I'm like, what is going on with you? You need to tell her to put the cigarette out around our kids, cause we don't smoke around our kids. I don't like, and she know I don't like that.
Ms.
But
Benson,
she go calling me names, threatening me, telling me I do this, I kick your butt, and I'm like, okay, come try it then. But I get in my car, I pull off. Now when I get back to my house, I'm devastated.
If you don't put that finger out of the air, I know what's going on here. I know you don't agree with him. I know you have something to say. Put your finger down.
I get back to my house. I get back to my house. I break down and cry because it tore me up so bad because I never saw this coming.
When divorce court continues, did Tommy cross the line?
He don't put his hands on me.
This my thing.
He was physically abusive.
This my thing. Going more in depth about what happened.
Your hands on her. Is it okay to bring your children around a new lover before you get a divorce? Call 1-800-282-1991 now and vote to see if America agrees with your opinion. You will also receive some valuable offers.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter at divorcecourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Tommy Pinson, who says his wife of 14 years left him for another woman. But is it a blessing in disguise that she left?
She put her hands on me. She threw stuff. She tore her TV. Threw coat racks at me.
All right, I got it. Ms. Pinson, what would you like to say?
We might need to give him a minute so he can collect the truth over there because
I don't need to give anybody anything. You don't tell me how to run this
I was
courtroom.
in
Do
the
you have
house.
something you would like to,
Yes,
some
ma'am. I was
information
in
you
the
would like
house
to impart?
cooking. I was in the house cooking. She was on the porch smoking. I don't allow smoking in my house or in my car. And he pulls up. I went outside to see what he wanted. And like I said, she was outside. My boys followed me from the inside of the house onto the porch because the door wasn't locked, so they could come on out behind me. And he said, what's she doing smoking around my boys? He seen when my boys came out the door. He just wanted to pick a fight with her. And then she sat there and was quiet. And because I try to bring peace in the situation. I've never tried to hurt him. I try to be respectable. And like I said, he showed up unannounced. He couldn't attack her for smoking outside on the porch. My kids were in the home.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Pinson. You can understand just a little bit that he's hurt. That
I understand it.
He's hurt that you left him for somebody else.
I didn't leave him for anybody else. I was leaving him. I had left him. Then I got with her. That's not how it happened.
I don't believe that, but anyway. Mr. Pinson, do you still care about her?
I will always care about her. I always love her. We got three beautiful kids together, and I'm always love her no matter what. You know, that's no matter what she do.
Are you over her?
I feel like I'm not quite over her because it's so much time. It was so much time invested. You know, and I met her when I was 16. She was 14.
Yeah.
I thought this was my wife.
Your soulmate. Yeah,
my
that was
soulmate.
it.
We got a nice house, nice family. I gave her the world.
Would you like to respond to that, and then we're going to move forward?
You know, he changed over the years, and it wasn't for the best. The way he acted at 16 is the way he act now at 35. I hadn't seen no growth, no maturity. So yeah, he would give me the world, but at what cost am I supposed to stay and deal with the other mess?
Okay. I still don't know what the other mess is, but that's okay.
Verbal abuse, very abusive.
Well,
he don't put his hands on me.
This is my thing.
He was
Your Honor.
physically abusive.
This is my thing. You know.
Did you put your hands on her?
Going more in depth about
Did
what
you
happened.
put your hands on her?
I grabbed her that night in the argument we had. She put her hands on me. She threw stuff. She tore up my TV. Threw coat racks at me.
All right, I got it.
Look, can I say something else though? Now, I'm at work. This one I got. She didn't want me. She wanted me to get a second job. Now, a part-time job.
Oh.
But when I got.
What you understand about that finger? What can't you figure out? I mean, what exactly is the problem over there?
When Divorce Court continues, what does Shacola say that finally pushes Judge Lynn beyond her limit?
Get her out. Get her out. You will go to. Is it okay to bring your children around a new lover before you get a divorce? Call 1-800-282-1991 now and vote to see if America agrees with your opinion. You will also receive some valuable offers.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Shacola and Tommy Pinson, who are divorcing after 3 children and 14 years of marriage.
Ms. Pinson, you want $1,257.34 from Mr. Pinson for damages. Why don't you explain that to me?
It happened on 2 separate occasions.
Okay.
The first one, he had the boys for the weekend, and I was coming back into town,
Yeah.
and I called him, finna pick him up. He said, I'm at my mom's house, and we was living on the same side of town. I said, well, call me when you get back on your side of town. No, I'm finna bring them right now. I said, okay, and I had jumped in the shower. He out there knocking. I'm trying to hurry up and get out the shower. I wasn't moving fast enough for him. He called, they keep a police on site where I live at. He called the police come up there, and I get to the door, and he going out here, pushing them on through the door. That was uncalled for, but after he left, my daughter said, Mama, Daddy kicked your car. And I go outside, and sure enough, it was a footprint on my car.
We're talking about this ding here.
Yes, ma'am.
And what else?
The line at
This
the bottom.
one?
Yeah.
And you contend he did that?
Yes. It was a footprint with a shoe print on it. The officer took a picture, but
Do you have a picture of the
and also I
footprint?
have a witness that was in the statement. My neighbor, she was also out there. He didn't know that.
Okay.
And that's on the
And
tape.
you want to be reimbursed for that $1,257.34? And I take it you have an estimate because that's a very specific number.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Pinson, do you recall that episode?
Yeah, that car, that's my car. My name, I brought that
It was
car with my
our
credit.
car. My name is
That's
on
why I
there
don't
as well.
understand.
Both names on the
Right,
title.
But
but
let me
my-
be clear.
No. I have a question. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It says customer pays $0, insurance pays $1,257.34. So didn't the insurance pay for it?
No, I hadn't had it fixed. When the officer came out, he said, do you want to press charges? He said, depending on how much it could be a felony on his record. I try to think I could have had this man locked up numerous amount of times. But I said, well, he got a clean record. I didn't want that on his record.
Okay. Let me say this. Ms. Pinson, you're a scandalous individual. I think you just decided that you just liked another life altogether. You had a good brother. You were picking at him with a little bit this and that here and there. And he did get mad. He did get frustrated. He did do the
Yes, I
wrong
did,
thing. Yes,
very.
yes,
I don't
he
know
did.
what I dealt with.
Ms. Pinson, you are to speak no further. And you made all up these little reasons why you couldn't be with anymore because you chose a different lifestyle, which is up to you.
That's not
but
true,
you
though.
hurt him in the process.
That's
and,
not true. And he
hush,
hurt
don't,
me over the years.
Don't,
But he hurt
get
me
out.
over the
Get her
years.
out. Get her out. You can go too.
To your
Mr.
left.
Pinson,
Right back there.
feel the weight lifting off your shoulders.
I received it.
Feel the light coming through the window.
Amen.
Feel the joy bubbling up through your heart.
Amen.
Go on back to whatever church you want to go to. I'm going to tell you what, there are 5 women to every dude's in there. 3 of them ain't got nobody. You pick one. This little bumping and banging, I don't know what it is. I don't know who started it. I don't know how big your foot is. But at the end of the day, it said the insurance was going to pay for it. She was trying to take you for money. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All right. Party may leave the courtroom.
Shacola says she doesn't care if she lost or won the case, but she still believes that Tommy should have to pay for his own actions. Shacola says that she doesn't now and probably never will understand Tommy, but she remains in a relationship with BB, which she says makes her happy and has nothing to do with Tommy. Tommy says Shacola is still with BB and I'm in a new relationship. I get to see my kids every 2 weeks, and I'm working on closing this chapter and getting on with my life.